Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to deploy a vSphere pod on our vSphere with Kubernetes infrastructure. So in the last video, we have already created a namespace. On top of it, we are going to deploy this vSphere pod. So vSphere pod is a VM with a very small footprint that runs one or more Linux containers. Uh, so uh, let's start with the demo here. So in this demo, if you will see on the screen, this is the namespace 01 which we created in our last video. Currently it is showing as 0 pods. The status is active and the config status is showing as running. So everything is good from this end. Now we are going to go to our CLI VM and here, let me clear the screen. And now we are going to log into your vSphere with Kubernetes infrastructure using the vSphere kubectl vSphere login command. Okay. Now again, we discussed this earlier. We are going to switch the context to our namespace 01. Probably chances are it's by default set to that context, but if you have multiple namespaces, so this is the command that you can use to switch the context. Kubectl config use context namespace-01. Once it is selected, I am on this namespace. Now I'll show you the YAML file which I have already with me for Nginx pod, and if you'll see it here, the name is Nginx deployment. The version is 1.16 and the app is Nginx. The port that it's going to use is 80. So we will be going to use this YAML. So we can apply this YAML using kubectl-apply-f command. And once this YAML is applied, I can do a kubectl get pods or the get deployments to understand where the deployment stands. If you will see, the deployment is currently in the working. It's not yet ready. Now I can do a kubectl get pods to see what pods are there under this namespace. The vSphere pod is currently in a pending state. So I can run a watch command on top of this kubectl get pods to uh, monitor the progress. So currently on the vSphere side, you will see another object for this referencing to this Nginx deployment will be created. If I go here, do a refresh, you will see under vSphere pods, the equation will change from 0 to 1. Though currently it's in pending state, but yeah, the pod creation is under process. So here, if you'll see, it's currently showing as running one by one pod because it's a one pod deployment. So currently it is showing as running. Now maybe I can do a kubectl describe pod to understand what configuration lies within this pod. So let's do a describe deployment first. So this is the deployment description. All the details related to the deployment is something you can see here. The number of replicas that is desired is 1. The logging related to the events related to the deployment. If there is any mounts or ports, you can see all those details here. So I'm just logging out from this infrastructure now. Now, from the UI, we can take a look at this. This is the pod, which is created, a vSphere pod with one container. This is the YAML. If you want this details for the YAML file, this is all the details associated with this Nginx deployment pod. You will see the same details for the deployment here. The YAML is for deployment here that you are seeing option. The daemon set, the replica set, all those details related to the pods you can find here. Now, thank you very much for watching this video. In the next section, we are going to proceed further and do more testing. Thank you.